Been a good spring. Going to put Ryan Hall in the lineup this week. He's a freshman that's played some real good golf for us in the fall. Was injured early in the right before the spring semester started, and so going to put him in and see how it goes.
Who will you come out?
Jamie Wilson will be taken out. That was a tough decision. Jamie's played real well for us this spring, but Ryan's looked really good, and I didn't really think we played up to our capabilities at SECs, and that's not all on Jamie, obviously, but the rest of the guys too. But I wanted to make a little change and see how it goes. The biggest thing was it really happened between Houston, our first event of the spring, and Palmetto. We started really as a team, I think, getting a lot better with our body language and handling the ups and downs that come with playing competitive golf a lot better. I was really disappointed in the guys in Houston for just bad body language, bad self-talk. I wouldn't say bad attitudes. We got some great kids and they work hard, but it was a combination of them really buying into that type of thing, and then also just as a group, my seniors really started leading practice a lot better with our short games, making it a lot more competitive. The team I saw at Palmetto was completely different than what we had the 2 weeks before at Houston, and I think we started making some putts, and then that bled into just the rest of the spring. You know, we played well at the Hootie and in Athens, and had some other good finishes as well.
You finished in Florida against that field. Was that?
It might have been the best tournament we had all spring. I mean, it wasn't a win, obviously, but it was against the best field, I think, in college golf, or one of them for the year for sure. And we played real well at Augusta too. Had a chance to win there, and Wake Forest got us both times at Valspar and at Augusta. But you know, the combination of those two events and then the wins, I really thought we would have played a little bit better at SECs, and that still stings a little bit. But we gave Auburn a run in that first match, and could have easily won a few of those matches. So we're not far off, and I think we got the biggest thing about regionals is it's a 3-hour time change, and it's different grasses. You know, the way we do our regionals, you just put in a bid. You don't earn it. So Washington State's hosting, but they're not even playing. So you got that aspect of things where we're going 3 hours, 3 hours away time zone wise, and we got to play on different grass.
What's that like? You've been out west before, and you guys are used to traveling a lot and playing a lot of different courses. But what are some of the challenges you guys are going to face, and how do you handle those challenges?
Well, I think it's that is honestly the biggest challenge is the different grass. I think Poana grass in the northwestern part of the country is totally different than what we play on here, Bermuda and sometimes bent grass. I mean, you ask those guys that have to come from out west, they don't see what we have down here very often. It's one of the unique things to our sport is that aspect of it, and so we'll get out there a little bit early, go out a day early, and get adjusted to the time, and then try to do as much practice as we can to get prepared for it. But you rely on the experience of the players for sure, and then also having a really quality practice round and making sure they get a good feel for things.
You touched on it. You guys didn't play as well as you'd hoped at SECs. Obviously, you know, the guys are still in pretty good form though, and have had a great spring. Where's their heads at right now, and where's their mentality at?
Well, I think SEC was a good wake-up call for us. I think in some ways we played tight. We didn't look as loose as we had for most of the spring, and I think we got out of what had really helped us play so well, which was just being involved in the process and just working on each individual's whatever they had to do to play well. I think we started thinking we were really good, and we got our butts kicked. So this is a humbling game at all levels, and I think we were humbled a little bit, and hopefully we learned from it. At least I think we did.
Ryan Hall's playing this week, super talented freshman. I think he had 3 top 20s in the fall. Hadn't really played this spring because he's been out with an injury. You got him in as an individual up at Wofford. Runner-up medalist, finished there, played really well. believe he shot a 65 one of the rounds. For those at home, I guess, that really don't know a lot about Ryan's game, just talk a little bit about his game.
Well, Ryan's one of the top freshmen in the country. I think he came in highly recruited. He played well for us in the fall. He had an unfortunate skateboarding accident early in the spring, and he's healthy now. And I think the only thing he's going to have to watch is he's going to be so fired up to play. I think we're just going to have to make sure emotionally he's keeps everything in check. But he's just a player that needs to be in the lineup, that was honestly one of the toughest things was taking Jamie out, because Jamie's played so well for us this spring. But Ryan's a top 100 player in the country. He's extremely talented, and it was just a gut call on my part, and I'm looking for him to play well, but I also don't want him to put a ton of pressure on himself. I mean, he's just an extremely talented kid that works very hard, and should be a good addition to the lineup.
How about going through the rest of your lineup?
Well, you got my three seniors, Scott Stevens, Will Miles, and Ryan Stackler. They've been unbelievable here at Carolina. Really, all 4 years they've just been quality kids. And you look at Scott Stevens; he's never missed a tournament for us. Was part of our team that made match play out in Oregon in 2016. He was a freshman on that team. And Will Miles and Ryan Stackler, they've been incredible. Just Will Miles has played some of the best golf of anybody in the country this spring, several times, and Ryan Stackler's had a good spring as well. And you got Caleb Prevost, who, Caleb was not real sharp in the fall, but has come out this spring and really played some good golf. And talk about somebody that's worked hard. I think Caleb's worked as hard as anybody on the team, and it's been cool seeing him develop and be able to help us out. I think our depth is right there with some of the best teams I've had. I think as far as my tenure goes, the 13 years I've been here, it's the best team I've had in terms of unity and camaraderie. Just the way they've gelled together, pushed each other in practice, held each other accountable. Probably the best team I've had in my tenure here as far as that goes. Talent-wise, I think we're right there with some of the best teams I've had. But a lot's left to be done. I mean, we have to get some good play in this week, and then hopefully on to the next step. But certainly one of the most enjoyable groups I've been around to coach, and I give Ben Dietrich a lot of credit for that as well. My new assistant, who played for me, and it's his first year as an assistant. He's really done an excellent job of doing some team building exercises and doing some things to get the guys to really buy in. Been a wonderful addition to our staff. It's one of the hardest things about the game itself or at the college level is combining the team aspect with the fact that it's really an individual sport. At the end of the day, it's just how you play. But I've seen it swing both ways. I've seen really good teams with great camaraderie and everybody pushing each other. I've seen those teams make each individual better, and I've seen some situations where it can drag each individual down. So it's one of the tough things as a coach is finding that right mix of what makes each one better and then what's collectively best for the team. Well, it's different. I mean, I think we did a good thing with our SEC championship the last 3 years. We've incorporated a mini NCAA championship format where we've played stroke play and then match play to finish it out. And there's nothing more exciting to me than head-to-head match play and team against team. And I think the kids really enjoy it. It's been good for TV, both the SEC Network and the Golf Channel, to have that format. It's easier for fans to follow, but it's an awful lot of golf when you decide to do that kind of thing. But it's fine. I mean, it's what's tough about it is we can't play a lot of match play during the season, and so that's what makes it difficult to prepare for.
Yeah, you play one way all
Well,
year.
yeah, exactly.
Get to the championship and
Yeah.
You're gonna have a different format.
Right. It's really that's one of the toughest things is we don't have enough competition days to really justify a lot of match play during the year.
There's a couple things maybe you could pinpoint this week that you think you need to do well to advance. What are some of those things?
I think we're going to have to be able to adjust on the fly, which is what I mean by that is that if the golf course plays like the research I've done on it indicates, if the wind blows, it's going to be a grind, and if it doesn't, you're going to have to be ready to make some birdies. And I think that our guys have been really good about that most of the spring. You know, if you look at the way they adjusted in Athens to a really difficult golf course that had a lot of wind, they played conservatively and kept the ball below the hole and did what you had to do to score on it. Bulls Bay's a lot like that, you know, where if the wind dies down, you got to be prepared mentally to make birdies. And I think it could be a shootout out there if the wind lays down, and at the same time it could really howl and be a difficult grind. So that's really the biggest thing is having them prepared for that. And I think everyone's games are in good shape. I think it's nice to be done with final exams, and you know, we'll all eventually get out to Pullman, wherever the heck that is, and somewhere near Idaho. We'll eventually get out there and we'll have a great time and enjoy seeing a different part of the country and hopefully kick some butt on the golf course.